Good afternoon, everyone. Calling to order council time for Clark County Council this Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. We'll start with the roll call.
Counselor Young,
Here.
Counselor Belcott is excused. Counselor Fuentes,
Here.
Counselor Little,
Present.
and Chair Marshall.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll open it to public comment on agenda items only. I believe there's at least one person signed up.
Carmen De Leon,
And Chair, just as they're coming to the podium, I just want to clarify for the record, there is no amendments on today's agenda.
Thanks. Somehow I often skip that, so thanks for bringing that up. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Carmen De Leon Mello, and I'm talking about the minutes of June 4th. We talked about the fireworks and I talked about prevention. And I even found a video of a town somewhere that has a 250-year-old village that they don't want burned. And they're doing exactly what I said. They have it set up to, if any fire comes, it automatically starts watering the houses. So nothing gets burned, which is what I talked about July 4th, prevention, water, irrigate the forest so it won't catch fire at least prior to July 4th. And that's how you prevent forest fires. And I looked at my explanation of the moving of icebergs, which actually I think is a great idea. So anyways, this also says that mental health. Well, gee, I would be the first to know about that because, you know, I am handicapped. And I hate to have to always remind you that I am handicapped, that I have PTSD, and not to trigger me, because we have talked about how we need the public input, but it's proven fact that if you keep showing up and keep getting intimidated or belittled or threatened with arrest, they're not going to show up. Dicho y hecho, they don't show up. Why? They've lost faith in you. Like I said last night, why don't we look at why nobody's showing up? Why is nobody riding the bus? You know, why is nobody showing up here? Is it because 50% of the population has lost trust in their government? And unfortunately, that would be you guys. So I would suggest regaining the people's trust, like example, everybody voted no no light rail. They want double-decker light rail here. Ridiculous. You know, we can't even fill these buses. Why are you going to buy more trains that are empty? I know it's off topic. Okay, we'll talk about my mental health. Okay, I got another minute. So I'm asking you because I have studied psychology, and within 15 seconds of seeing somebody, you can read the micro expressions. So I don't want to be triggered again with a bunch of smirking like I used to get with that Medvedev guy that I have to turn around to not be triggered. So I'm asking you with common courtesy to have some respect for people with mental illness. And by the way, my name is De Leon. And if you look up De Leon's from Guatemala, that is my direct lineage of President De Leon was descendants of mine. So on my father's side, I'm De Leon, presidential lineage. And on my mother's side is my 103-year-old grandfather who died a millionaire in Guatemala, who swore he'd never come to the United States because he don't need this country. He stayed in his own country because he could function there. He didn't come here and start telling people in this country what to do. He only visited this country one time because he had millions of dollars in property. He owned the block. Why would he come here?
Thank you. Is there anyone online? Okay.
It seems to they have lowered their hand. If there's anybody online that wishes to make public comment, please raise your hand.
Good afternoon, Kimberly Goheen Elbin. You know, I'll tell you, I don't know if it's the heat or what, but I'm getting pretty tired of our local government. But Mello made a good point. Why isn't anybody here? Well, it's that they know that. They don't want anybody there. But anyway, we're going to go on with what's on the agenda today. there's a resolution, you guys are gonna tie in, Les Center with waste management. So waste management to me is a sewer. The sewer says it
I'm
cleans.
sorry, that's not on
the-
the agenda today.
Oh, let me look at that. I thought it was on under your, let's see, legislator end of session. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, okay. You're correct there. So under the Silver Citizens Awards, I see that you gave a man and a woman, see Larry Smith and Bev Jones,
You may
the
be looking at a
aging
different
award.
agenda because that's not on our agenda.
Oh, you don't have the aging today?
No, we don't. We
Wow, let me
have
look.
just policy updates really are the
Prenatal,
things to
mental
speak
health
to.
sales.
Mental health
Oh, I
sales
wonder,
tax
well, see, annual
calendar.
presentation to Clark County Council on Aging. And I copied it for today's agenda. So
For
maybe I'm
June 11th,
mistaken.
it's not on the agenda. It's a mental health,
Oh, well, you know
Medicaid
what? I bet it
access,
was
mental
maybe under
health
the
sales
minute.
tax, and legislative update.
I bet
Those
it
are
was
your
under the minute.
choices.
Yeah, I bet it was under the minutes. And that's okay. I do have the end of the session report. That's on here, right? The Voice of Washington Counties. So Clark County did not have to follow the GMA, and they, I'm going to have to look into this, but you know, it's been a tough situation for me as a single patriot that took an oath, you know, such as yourselves. We have a duty, and my duty is to wake people up that have been harmed and damaged with the mental health. You have that on the agenda today, right? Mental health and Medicaid and all that, because you guys are the government. You've got to swing around all the money and find the hard-earned tax dollars and do our business. Yet it is very evident to many people, they're just not there today, that you're doing our business, but without us there, and you don't care. You don't care at all. The center had a meeting last night and they do care. It was our planning commission. Only 3 women of us showed up, and they realized, wow, nobody's here. And so I brought it to their awareness. Hallelujah. And you are doing our business. And a lot of ways, in ways that we don't like, it's secret. There's a lot of secret.
Okay, your time is up. Thank you. Okay, moving on to old business, 4.1 minutes of June 4th, 2025. Are there any corrections or changes? And if not, I'll
Yes.
entertain a motion. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a minor edit on the notes on council time. I was talking a little bit about the tour that I took with Public Works, and that last sentence there, it talks about the solution is the cleanup of the properties. It's actually, we're going to be reviewing the public access rules related to those properties. So I just changed the word cleanup
Yes,
to
thank
reviewing
you.
the public access rules. Thank you.
Thank you. You're correct on that. So we'll make that change. Any other corrections? Okay, and with that correction, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the minutes of June 4th.
So moved.
It's been moved. Thank you. Is there a
Second.
second? Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, thank you. On to new business. Is there new business?
None today.
No new business today. Counselor reports. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Chair. I have a few of them. One, I wanted to report back on a couple of the boards that I serve on, one being ECHO. We did meet in ECHO yesterday, had a robust discussion, and the group is looking at potentially doing a system-wide analysis study of the homeless system in the county, which I think could have multiple benefits eventually. I've had some hesitations, but we're not moving forward at this point. We're going to be talking about it again next month and then making a decision if we want to move forward with this, but it will involve funding from all of the organizations, so all the local jurisdictions. So that may be something that gets brought up here in the near future. If it is, there will be a presentation given to the council by a committee or a few people on the board itself. So just wanted to give a heads up on that. We also met this week, the Urban County Policy Board. Didn't do any work other than kind of refining some of the priorities and where the funding will go to in the coming years. We still have a little bit more work to do on that as well. And then also had the opportunity, wanted to thank Temple Lynch and many other people able to be at the Sacred Heart groundbreaking ceremony. I think Councilor Fuentes was there. Weren't you there? Were you there? No, I thought you were. Okay. And I just also wanted to give a shout out to all of the people that are running for County Review Commission. I've had several of them reach out and want to meet with me and get my perspective, as I'm sure that you have as well. And I just appreciate their willingness to step up and serve the community in that capacity, and looking forward to that process unfolding.
Okay, great. Related to ECHO and that system-wide analysis, I know that we are updating the homeless action plans. So I just, I guess, keep that in mind. I know that the homeless action plan doesn't address all of the homeless issues and needs, but if it can help or in any way dovetail with that, maybe it can, maybe it can't. Just a thought.
Yeah, there's some things for them to work through before, but they should have all those things ironed out when they come and eventually present to us if we move forward with that.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to hearing more. Thank you.
And just, it can't move forward without funding. So that's a
Right,
big
right.
point here.
And the thing with ECHO, it's multiple jurisdictions, and recommendations coming from that body go back to all of those governing boards. So
Chair.
yes,
Yeah,
please
and
go ahead.
To add to that conversation we're having about ECHO, since I sit on the committee as well, Councilmember Deanna Perez and Councilmember Victoria Ferrer, City of Vancouver and City of Battle Ground, respectively, have committed to getting buy-in from jurisdictions across the county, because there is a funding that is necessary. It's going to cost a heck of a lot. And I think the kind of expectation as of now is to make it proportionate, the expenditures from each jurisdiction proportionate to population. So that's just kind of very high level right now. We haven't fully discussed that, but our job will be to figure out how we can get buy-in from the rest of the jurisdictions across Colorado County.
And you're referring to that system-wide study.
Yes, correct. To the
Thank you.
system-wide study, yes.
Okay, Will. Oh, please don't interrupt. Other updates from any councilor members? Did you have anything else?
I don't
Councilor
have an
Fuentes?
update. I have a couple of requests. My first one is regarding the Brockman campus funding. So I want to bring to your attention, to everybody's attention, I think some of us are familiar with the critical issue regarding the Brockman campus, which is the state-run mental health facility located near WSU Vancouver. The campus has completed its construction as of a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken. The facility will not open due to funding paused by the state legislature. This 48-bed facility was designed to alleviate pressure on Western State Hospital by providing inpatient treatment for individuals with civil commitment orders. So what I am asking is a thumbs up from the County Council to prepare and send a letter to DSHS Acting Director B. Rector requesting that DSHS seek emergency funding to open and operate this facility. The services planned for this facility are essential in addressing the growing mental health needs in our community, and it is imperative that we advocate for its swift opening. I just want to also make sure that the acting director, B. Rector, is according to the organizational chart. We couldn't find anybody else that might have potentially been appointed, but I am asking the council for a thumbs up for our policy analyst to send a letter to DSHS.
Absolutely support that.
I would support that as well. I don't know if Jordan, we can further discuss it. I think during policy updates, I think it came as a surprise to us that it didn't get funding for operation out of this year's budget, but I'd be supportive as well.
Thank you. And it looks like potential funding won't be until 2027, which is about a year and a half from now. So I think it's a long time before that happens, but it's incredibly critical that it happens sooner than later.
I think it's important to express our concern about
Yeah,
this.
thank
so
you.
Thank you for bringing that up.
And just for clarification, is council okay with Jordan bringing back a draft letter for next week for your review?
Yes, absolutely.
you.
Thank you. And so
Yeah.
I think we have 3 thumbs up.
I think, yes, we have 4 thumbs up.
Perfect. Perfect.
And I would suggest, Councilor Fuentes, if you want to work with Jordan on that letter, that may be helpful.
I would be happy. I do have one more request.
Okay.
And this is in conversation with community members over the last couple of days. I realized that we've never done a Juneteenth proclamation. So I would like to request that we issue a proclamation recognizing Juneteenth at our next council meeting, which is Tuesday, the 17th. As some of us know, Juneteenth marks the day in 1865 when enslaved people in Texas were finally freed over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, this day is not only a celebration of freedom, but also an important reminder of the ongoing fight for racial justice and equality. So by the county officially recognizing Juneteenth, we honor the history and contributions of Black Americans, and we affirm our commitment to creating a more inclusive community here in Clark County. I've asked Karen Morrison from the Odyssey World International Educational Services to be present to receive the proclamation if county supports this.
Thank you for that. I'd be supportive of that. 2 thumbs up there from
Definitely.
Councilor Little. Unanimous support
Perfect.
for that.
Thank you.
So, and again,
Another-
I think working with Jordan on the language of that and with
And you're wanting
Odyssey.
this for next
For Tuesday. I know it's a short turnaround, but we have a Tuesday evening session on.
Okay. It'll have to be posted like today.
Okay. If we can, is that possible?
I would look to Jordan and also seek council's okay to do that without further review from council.
I am supportive of that.
Oh,
What do you mean by further review? By review
Well,
of proclamation?
generally-
Council, if usually it comes back a draft for council to actually review it before it is read or posted online.
okay. How do people feel about
I
that?
trust Jordan that he will draft a excellent, well-written proclamation.
This-
I think Jordan has his hand raised. So I
Okay,
don't know if
yes,
he has
please.
something.
Jordan, I can't see you, but I understand your hand is raised.
Thanks, Chair. Yes, it is raised. I just want to say I'd be happy to put something together this afternoon if council would like. Also, I was going to ask, are we still having a council meeting in the placeholder on the 24th? And if so, that could also be an option if council is not supportive of just having me draft it for next Tuesday.
We will probably be having the meeting on the 24th. It's for the comp plan update ag study contract. So that is anticipated for that placeholder on the 24th.
Okay, thank you for that input. So what's the council's pleasure on moving forward with this for our next Tuesday meeting or wait till the 24th? I think, so the question, move forward for Tuesday? I think we've got 3 thumbs up.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, based on the language Councilor Fuentes brought up, I'm happy to support it and get it done timely. So I would put it in Jordan's hands and Councilor
Great.
Fuentes and be supportive of that.
That sounds good.
And-
And I know Jordan has tried to have a calendar of all of the potential proclamations. So just for all of the counselors, if there's proclamations you'd like to bring forward, just bring it to Jordan's attention, then we don't have to have this rush.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
But
Moving
I
forward.
appreciate you bringing it up.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I think that's all. Thank you.
Any other counselors?
Chair?
Oh, Counselor Little. It's
Yeah,
your real hand that's up.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I've received a lot of comments about the Pacific Core proposed high transmission line that would be going through my district, Councilor Fuentes and the chairs. And I'm sure a lot of you have also received comments. And I just wanted to let the public know that we have this on the agenda in the future. Pacific Core is going to come and speak to us about this, and we'll be able to address it on that date. I just want to check when is that going to be?
July 9.
July
Okay,
9th.
July 9th. Yeah, I just want to let the public know that we're not ignoring you. We hear you, and we'll be talking about it on July 9th.
Great, thanks for that. I think yeah, I've notified some folks that it's going to be July 9th. Now, this will be a work session, so there's no public comment. I've suggested to some of them, because I think they're developing an organization, and I would be open to, if they wanted to come at some point and also present their concerns in a work session setting. I know we've done that with Friends of Vancouver Lake and it from time to time, but it would be a way to hear more directly from the community impacted beyond just a three-minute comment period. So that's, I would just add that to your comments about that issue.
Okay, that would be great. I would support that as long as it's still timely for whatever the decision-making process is. I just want to
I
make
think it's
sure
yeah, I believe it's a long decision-making
Okay.
process, but there's several steps that have already been completed and are underway. But I think that's what we'll find out more about what that process is. There's not been an application submitted to the county, so I believe we have some time, and I agree that we're all aware and listening, and we'll find out everything we can about it. Any
Thank you,
other?
Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments or?
I did not a report, but I do have a question for County Manager Kathleen. A couple days ago, we were informed that the City of Vancouver canceled their work session for this morning on annexation. Have they rescheduled?
So we're still waiting to hear back. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks for that give and take, counselors. Work session request, oh, I guess I had a work session request related to if the community of concern want to make a presentation related to Pacific Core's project sometime in the future. Would people be?
I
Supportive?
would want to wait until we have the work session and then decide at that point.
Okay,
That
that
would be my
seems
preference.
reasonable. That seems great. Okay. Any other work session requests?
None.
None. Okay, policy updates, Jordan.
Good afternoon, Council. For the record, Jordan Bogey, Policy Analyst. I've got 3 updates here on the agenda and then a couple that have come up just in the last day and a half or so. First one is an update on the summit that happened Monday with our public health department, the Medicaid Access to Prenatal Care Summit. It went well, and Chair, feel free to add in anything else, but I would just say that it was well attended. We had a number of our state delegation in attendance, including Senator Cleveland, Representative Stonier, Senator Harris, Representative/Mayor Stevie, as well as a representative from Senator Cortez's office. Chair Marshall chaired the meeting as well. And we had a number of folks from various county public health agencies, as well as the State Department of Health, the Healthcare Authority, the Office of the Insurance Commissioner. We were really well represented, and there was a lot of good energy for this group to kind of come together and think about ways that we can help improve prenatal access to care, especially for our Medicaid population. And I'll just say a couple big takeaways for me were that adequacy standards on paper don't necessarily equal full access to care in this system, and that I would also say prenatal care is an access of lack of larger access to care issues. So if you don't have primary care, it is tough to get into the care that you need when you are expecting a baby. So I thought that went well. Chair, I don't know if you have anything else, but I just wanted to give council that quick update, and public health will be coming back later this summer with some next steps and some potential items that could be included in the county's legislative package for 2026.
Thank you, Jordan. I would like to add a little bit to that. I'd also say that there were representatives from the governor's office, and it was, I think, Tacoma Pierce, Health Department, Kitsap, Seattle King. They have a joint Public Health Department, and Southwest Washington Accountability Community of Health. So there was great representation. We met for 3 hours on the second floor of the Luke Jensen facility. The air conditioning was out. And it's just a testament to the commitment that the people in attendance had to this issue, that they were engaged right up to the very sweaty end of this meeting, and taking notes. And the expectation that I believe I delivered with everyone is that we're going to be continuing to drill down on this issue, and the health department will come back and report to us as the Board of Health, and with follow-up steps. And if there's an opportunity to develop a legislative package, that would we'd be open to that as well. And I do want to just really commend Dr. Melnick and his team, because we, as the Board of Health, received this report about prenatal Medicaid access in April. And they pulled all of this together with all of these people in a very quick amount of time, and presented some excellent data and analysis. And I think it's a testament also to the overall concern related to this seriousness of this issue. So good job all around. Other items, Jordan?
Yes, so moving to 8.2 here, and this is just a kind of an update. I wanted to also, let the new counselors know and refresh the rest of the council. So typically the way that the mental health sales tax funding allocation process works is that there are a set of internal application deadlines for internal county departments applying for funds, as well as an external process. As you'll recall, earlier in the year, council determined that you wanted to allocate funding to the Vancouver Bridge Shelter project, and with the rest of the available funds for this cycle, only focus on internal submissions. So I just wanted to share this for your knowledge, for the public's knowledge, and let you know that internal submissions will be due in August. Those will be reviewed. There's an interview process that happens through September. And then this information, the recommendations for funding from the Mental Health Sales Tax Advisory Board, will be included in the annual budget process. And so you'll see those in the fall. And so be on the lookout for that. But just wanted to let council know just kind of how that process works and how those funds are allocated in another year where we had other available funds for external projects. Those would also be included in the budget process and follow a similar kind of timeline.
Jordan, could I just add something?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just sitting on that committee, I just wanted the public to know that it was a really hard decision to keep the RFPs internal this year. We did make an important and timely decision on funding the bridge shelter with the city. It was something that we needed to do, and it was kind of long due. And so we took that route, but that excluded the opportunity for outside groups to apply for this fund this year. And we realized that that's a lost opportunities, because there's a lot of wonderful groups doing great work in this area. We really hope to return to allowing that fund to be used for external applicants next year as well.
Thank you for that comment. Any questions? Okay, let's move on to 8.3, WASAC Legislative End of Session Report.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure council had seen this and also make available to the public. The Washington State Association of Counties released their end of session report. And this is it's a great document that outlines, some of the priorities that the Association of Counties had going into the legislative session, what passed, what didn't pass, kind of the status of that across a lot of different topics, both in terms of the 7 priorities that the Association of Counties had, as well as just a number of bills of interest to the county and to many local governments. And so I won't run through the whole thing with you, but just a few highlights. One of the things that did pass that's relevant to the discussion that we've been having about access to care and Medicaid is a bill that moves us towards the ability for local governments to do reprocurement processes. So this is in the case where local governments or those contracting with providers for healthcare and mental health services, if they don't feel that network adequacy is actually being met by the terms of their contract, it gives them the ability to kind of renegotiate, to open up these processes again more easily, so that they can make sure that they're delivering as best they can for those who are accessing care. And so that's a good step forward. I know that's going to take some time to get fully implemented, and so I know that was a win for counties. There have been some new revenues that counties can access. Most of the specific bills that the Association of Counties went after did not actually end up passing most of the revenue tools, but some of the exceptions include House Bill 2015, which, as you'll recall, is that new 0.1% sales tax for public safety that is available to be councilmanically taken until June 30th, 2028. As well as a $100 million grant program for hiring local law enforcement. Senate Bill 5801, that includes new permanent funding for counties from the gas tax. Thank you, Michelle. And Senate Bill 5357 helps with some of our obligations under PERS for the retirement system. And so gives a little bit more flexibility and savings to local government. And there have been some exemptions that have been removed on some nicotine products that will increase to some degree local sales tax revenue. I don't think that's expected to be a huge moneymaker, but does give a little bit more local revenue. A couple of the other things that didn't pass that were notable are indigent defense funding. And that is particularly timely because the Supreme Court did release their new caseload standard order on Monday and gave local governments 10 years to comply with that standard. So I think there'll be more to come on that. There was a county road grants program that was not funded, would have been administered through the County Road Administration Board. However, that program was created within the transportation budget. And so it does appear that we're going to have some new options for helping to support funding for county local access roads. And so that is definitely a win for local county public works. And I just overall, there's a lot of information here about a lot of bills, and I just would encourage, if you're interested, check it out and read through. And for the public as well, I think it's an interesting look at what counties have been up to over this legislative session.
Thank you, Jordan. I have one quick question related to 2015. I know the sheriff has been looking into that. It was a complex bill. I think the council's been anxious to know how we could potentially apply this. When might this be coming back for us to take a look at?
I would anticipate by either the end of this month or right after the 4th of July.
Right, well, pretty quick. Okay, that's
just
great.
As we're looking at everything law and justice holistically with the jail, the sheriff, the courts, everything. And then also if council is going to desire to go out in November ballot, we'll need to have that solidified in July. But we'll be bringing it back to you for a couple discussions.
Great. I know there's a lot of big things out there. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Yes, please go ahead.
Just one quick comment to add to that. It's just amazing how fast time flies. It seems like we just missed the last deadline and we were up against the clock for that. It's amazing how fast time flies. But I did have a question, Jordan. We'll see where to go. Yeah, so 5801. Do you know, the 3.507 million, is that statewide or is that for the county?
That I believe is statewide.
Okay. And then what are filing fees that they're increasing?
I believe that is related to like vehicle registration filings, but I can double check on that. I
Okay.
can't recall exactly off the top of my head.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Go ahead, Counselor.
Fair. I did want to point out as well, and Jordan, you missed this one, but it's ESB 5471, which authorizes counties to increase density for residential development in all UGAs to support middle housing development without the risk of appeals with certain requirements. What those requirements are, I'm not really sure at this point, but this is exciting. We know that there is a critical need of additional housing in our community. And so being able to increase density, of course, without the risk of any type of appeal is excellent. It means a lot for our county, particularly that large swath of land between the city of Vancouver and rural Clark County. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more of how we can utilize this and focus on urbanized Clark County and increasing density in that area.
Chair,
Yes, go
if I
ahead.
could just thank you for bringing that up. I don't know how many of you caught the article in the Columbian yesterday that was about housing in the city of Vancouver, that they should be having 20,000 units a year in production, and they're looking at 7,500 this year, which is alarming. So there is not anything that we shouldn't be looking at to try to create more housing stock.
Well, and it's interesting because as we drive around, as I drive around the city, I see a lot of building, a lot of construction happening, right? Yet it's just not enough. It's not enough. And so I think this will help, at least at the county level. The city of Vancouver has their own policies, but this is exciting news.
I wonder if we could get the planning department's opinion on this, how this may be applying to the comp plan that we're working on right now. Okay, thank you for bringing that up. Anything else from
Just
the
two,
council? Yes, go ahead.
just two other quick items here. The first is back on March 12th, council approved proclamation for Pollinator Week, which is next week. However, we did not determine which counselor would like to read that. And so I was hoping to see if we could get consensus on who might want to do that.
I'm happy
Oh.
to do it.
Counselor Little. I think bees may be close to everyone's heart, but please,
You can have it if
Thank-
you want.
no, you go ahead.
Okay.
Thanks a
Love
lot.
bees.
Anything else, Jordan?
One final item for you. So just recently, I learned about another timber sale in Clark County, and given the council's interest in the topic, wanted to make sure I brought forward just so you had some awareness of this. This is the Turnover Timber Sale. It is about 5 or 6 miles north as the crow flies from the Dabbler site. It is near Yale Reservoir up in the northeast part of the county. They had a SEPA determination of non-significance back at the end of April, and they had a comment period that was open the last week of April into the first week of May that kind of slipped by us, did not see at the time. I fixed that. I am now on the SEPA mailing list, so I should get those notifications moving forward of any potential timber sales. But just wanted to let council know that there was a determination of non-significance a couple months ago, and that the auction is scheduled for September 25th of this year. And so I'm going to be reaching out to DNR just to find a little bit, ask them to provide a few more details. And I have shared with council via email some information that's on the DNR website about the sale. But just wanted to, A, just let you know that that was happening. And then B, if there's anything that you'd like me to reach out to DNR specifically about, please let me know here or follow up in an email.
Counselor Little?
Yeah, thanks for that heads up, Jordan. And yes, it would be great to just look to see if there's similar characteristics on this sale as there were for Dabbler of the same things that we would likely be concerned about. But even more importantly, I think there's actually another pot of money that was in the legislative session that I want the council to be aware of. It's an innovative new fund coming out of urban tax fees that Conservation Northwest and some partners were able to secure this year. That money would be used to conserve or protect older growth, more diverse forests that would serve as carbon sinks. And in exchange, the money would be provided for private timberlands that are at risk of being sold for development, etc. So what it would do is basically it would protect certain parcels of DNR land that have old growth characteristics for carbon purposes and other purposes. And it would use that money to take, say, a piece of Weyerhaeuser land that's for sale, that's at risk of turning into development, and swapping those lands into the rotation at DNR that would be more appropriate for clear cuts and more appropriate for faster rotations. And so it's a pretty cool thing. It hasn't been used yet. And we had that great conversation with the Public Lands Commissioner, who said he was open to a pilot program with us. So I think if we could just get a little bit more information about what kind of parcels might be threatened on the private side, and then also try to get a better grasp of which of these parcels in the DNR lands have these older growth characteristics, and partner with the Public Lands Commissioner to try to see if there's some of these swaps that we could be using that money. Maybe we could be the pilot county. I know that's a lot.
No,
But I
no,
just
no,
learned about
that's all appropriate. There was, maybe it was a pilot a couple years ago where these swaps were occurring. We found out about it kind of late in the process. There were other counties that had already identified lands and were way ahead of us. And the council at that time wasn't fully supportive of participating in that. But I think it's good to take a look at that. And I would suggest, contacting our local Southwest Washington DNR forest person to really enable us to get more in a proactive stance related to forest issues and understand and identify some of those areas that we would be more interested in protecting and what's on their radar, what's coming up next. And Jordan, I appreciate you getting on the notification list. I know the county had been notified, but the notifications went to the planning department, and we hadn't in the past really monitored harvest sales. So, but I think with this council, it seems like we have an interest in that, and we might pursue meetings. If we don't get out there for a tour, just looking at maps and getting a better understanding of what their plans are in advance of notices. Any other thoughts from councilors?
Yeah, the program's really a win-win on all sides. You bring in more appropriate lands for timber sale revenue that would be more appropriately be used to go into schools and get the revenue off. And then you would be able to set aside some lands that are more appropriate for natural resources values and carbon sinks. So it's a pretty cool thing.
So I think it would be good if we had 3 counselors at least to give the nod to pursue this line. Do we?
Yeah, I'd be interested in learning more.
Great, great. Okay,
Same.
unanimous. Good. All right. Any other thoughts or comments? Thanks for bringing that up and paying attention to that, Jordan.
No problem.
Okay. Does that conclude your report?
It does. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we're about to go into an executive session pending litigation, RCW 42.30.110, paren 1, paren little I, for 10 minutes, and there will be after action. So we'll come back in 10 minutes, which would be, do we want to say 5 till 2, or do we want to say 2? 5 till? 5 to 2. We'll be back. Thank you. Okay, council is back from our executive session. Is there a motion?
Yes, there is. I move to approve the proposed settlement and release of all claims relating to the lawsuit entitled Melissa Long versus Clark County et al.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, unanimous. Thank you very much. And without objection, our business is over and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.